right, McClintock and Dottie Rubio are here from the 4-H program. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Are you guys working together on a project? Do you work quite a bit together?
Yeah.
You do?
Well,
Yes.
Dottie is our equine leader for our horse club. And in 4-H, you know, the way that's set up, that our different special interest clubs have a leader that's kind of the, the leader. I mean, and they work with us, but they take the major role in responsibility and organization and planning and a lot of instruction.
Is that quite a job?
Yes, it can be. Yes, it can be.
Do you feel like a leader?
Probably. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Good.
So you're going to talk about any specific of the programs, the equine especially today, right?
Well, I can speak about the horse club and so forth, and Mike can probably speak about the majority of all the other
How many
clubs
kids,
and so
how many, not necessarily just kids, but how many people are involved in the equine?
As far as kids, I have about a dozen kids enrolled in the 4-H horse club, and of course I can't do it without the help of their parents. I get a lot of support from their parents as well. So.
And if they're involved, what goes on?
With regard to the club, when we have our regular meetings, I usually have something scheduled where they learn something, and then we have something fun. We'll have a game, we'll have some kind of a contest or something like that. But a lot of these kids are heavily involved in horse activities that are outside of 4-H, as well as inside of 4-H. Within 4-H, we have district shows, we have horse judging and hippology contests. They also have the state show that they'll compete at. But then outside of 4-H, that enhances their horse club experience, a lot of these kids are in rodeos. A lot of your local rodeos as well as national rodeos.
Oh,
we have kids in National Little Britches that compete at finals. We have kids in the high school and junior high school rodeos. So a lot of rodeo kids in the horse club. But I have also kids that are just learning how to ride and they're trying to find their niche. And I have one little boy that is an avid trail rider, and he's on the Buffalo River any chance he gets. So.
Wow.
Now, when you say you teach them things at the meetings, what do you teach that they wouldn't necessarily know?
We might have a guest speaker that come in to talk to them about anything horse related. It can be about how to care for their equipment, how to load a horse correctly, how to do first aid on a horse, or feed and nutrition. At the same time, you know, we might have an educational game that might be a quiz game that helps prep them for quiz bowl and hippology later on at the state level. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all these kids are very active in with their horses.
Yeah. So you almost have to have a horse to be involved.
No, you don't.
You don't? Okay.
No, you don't.
It might be even a good prep for someone that's thinking about.
When I was growing up, I didn't have a single horse, but I would have loved to have been in 4-H just because of my interest in horses. You know, because there's a lot that they can do without a horse.
Like, for instance?
The quiz bowl, hippology, horse judging, you don't have to have a horse to be involved in all that. If you have a genuine, strong desire to learn about horses, you know, come on and join us. You know, we'd love to have you.
Now, how does the department work with her?
Well, generally it's support, and we help. We set up guidelines. Of course, all clubs have certain rules and things that they're supposed to follow. You know, of course, the number one thing being equal opportunity. You know, so we oversee those kind of things to make sure that they're happening. With horses, of course, I really like horses too, and so safety has always been our number one rule. And Dottie does an excellent job. She's one of the best leaders that we have. I mean, she's done an excellent job, very competent. And so it's good to not have to worry about the kids and to know that they're also getting an educational experience along with it. With horse judging, for instance, we started practicing, I guess it was last week in September. And then we had the state horse specialist come up, worked with us 3 weeks in a row. We've been working with these kids. With our goal is to possibly have a nationally competitive judging team.
Wow.
And we have some kids here that are really outstanding, and so we want to give them every opportunity to do these things.
Now, when you talk about judging, do you judge the horses by themselves, or the judging and the riding, or
both?
You do both. Okay.
Both. You judge the horses. In some instances, it's strictly the horses on their conformation, And then when you judge the performance, it's the horse and rider, and then a couple of events it's strictly the horse. But
And when you talk about performance in the events, I think of barrel racing, but there's other things that you do, I'm sure, like have an obstacle course or a certain things that they have to do to manage a horse.
With performance, it'll be probably an English class or a reining class or a
okay.
Western pleasure class, riding classes. Usually in the halter class, obviously, they're coming in and they're looking at the conformation of just that animal and judging it on its looks and conformation.
You talked about safety earlier. Do you have to wear helmets and that kind of thing? Or
in our speed events, we
Yeah.
require students to wear helmets. Of course, I'm older, and so when we grew up, I wouldn't have been caught dead with a helmet on.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea, especially the youth today. Probably it's a little tamer environment, and they're a lot more knowledgeable than most of us. I grew up around horses and performance horses, and a horse weighs 1,200 pounds, and a child might weigh 90 pounds, and without proper safety and proper training, those weight advantage goes to the horse, and so. It's very important. Horses can be one of the best experiences of your life, or in some instances can be one of the worst. So,
well, do you guys meet once a month or once a week? How
We
often?
meet once a month. Right now, our horse club meetings are scheduled for the third Thursday of every month. Generally, throughout the fall and then through the winter, we'll have them at the extension office, unless we can find something else that's indoors that they're not, affected by the weather. We might go visit a vet's office, or we might have a guest speaker come in, or something like that. Otherwise, during the spring, later spring and during the summer, we'll have horse events or our horse club meetings at the arena, and we'll have fun and games at the arena. They'll learn something about the horses, and then we'll have something fun to do.
So that's a time when they can bring their horses? Okay.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we encourage them. We have a few horses, and we have a few parents that have horses that people can borrow. Of course, there's always risk involved in that, and so we're kind of picky. We don't want to give everybody the impression just come out and get on a horse.
Right.
We're kind of restrictive in that nature
Right.
because the kids need to have a basics of equitation also. But we can usually get somebody mounted, or we can help people pick out a horse for their first horse or anything like that. But the horse activities is really Dottie's hook. I mean, that's really what the kids want to do, is get out there in that arena or go on a trail ride or something. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Do you do
Yeah.
much of that? Do you do much trail riding?
A lot of the
Yourself?
kids
Yeah.
do personally, not within the 4-H horse club
Right.
per se. But next week Thursday at our meeting, we're going to be scheduling our events for the year, and there might be a trail ride or two that's in it. So, but we have to find someplace safe. The kids aren't going to get hurt. We don't have traffic to worry about, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have to be very, choosy about where we take them.
And you mentioned that there are places on the Buffalo River and in the Park Service where you can do horse trailing.
yeah.
That last week we did that trek from Pruitt to Ozark, and there was a horse trail going through there.
Yeah, there are a lot of trails that are designated horse trails. Some of them are in conjunction with your hiking trails too.
Are those fairly safe?
The ones that
Some of them
I've been on
yeah.
are, but it all depends on the weather. After an ice storm
Yeah.
and so forth, it takes a little while to get that
Right.
cleaned up again, because there's a lot of damage that gets done in the Buffalo Park.
And you mentioned high water. A lot of
Yeah.
horses aren't used to crossing water,
Right.
so
Yeah.
those things have to be planned,
Yeah.
and horses acclimated to what they're going to be doing.
They don't actually act like the ones in the Western movies, where you just dive in the water and they take you across.
I've got some that will.
Yeah,
I
want to do that.
Yeah, I don't like that, because I don't like to get my boots full of water and ride for the rest of the day.
Right.
So.
Well, take your boots off.
I wanted to ask what age kids are involved in this and can be involved.
well, within 4-H, we can have them that are
From 9
yeah.
or even younger.
Yeah, they
You
can be very
can't
young.
compete competitively in 4-H until you're 9 years old. But
Okay.
we've had kids
that are
6 and 7 that have even showed up,
Right.
all the way up to 19.
Okay.
But some kids may not want to compete. They just want to be involved with the
exactly
program. Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Just
Yeah.
to let people out there know that if they want to get involved, they don't have to compete.
Yeah.
I
It
think
can-
that
It can be a kid that has a horse at home that maybe they just want to supplement with something else that they might learn about horses, and they just have one in their backyard that they ride around at home, and that's
just
perfectly fine.
Get with other people that have horse and same thoughts. And
I think that's kind of a misconception sometimes that people get, is that we're all about rodeo or we're all about horse showing, and that's definitely not the case. We want kids that are equine enthusiasts to come out and play. If you have a mule,
play and education.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when they're having fun, then you can slip a little knowledge in there on
You
them
bet.
before they even know they've learned anything. So.
And we will let people also know that the Extension Service has a lot of other information, not just about horses, but
Correct.
Yes, we have all kinds of special interest projects and group clubs that we've talked about, in community clubs, shooting sports and all these different clubs. And the main thing would be just to give us a call at our office and visit with Denise Hensley, myself, or Nita Cooper, and we'll sure get you headed down the right direction.
yeah, and it's a great source of resources and information.
Right. And we're always looking for community leaders and new community clubs, so if anybody out there is interested in forming a club, now's the time of year that we're looking for new clubs to start in different areas of the county. Just give us a call, and we'll sit down
Wonderful.
and kind of show you the ways.
And we've got your phone number there, but what is it? Tell people.
741-6168.
6168. All right. Mike,
Thank you
Dottie,
so
thanks a lot for
much.
being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
Let's take a break now, and before we do, we'll introduce that Vivi Allen's going to be here to talk about some things at the OAC and some plays that are coming up.
Yeah, boy.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.